Hi, and welcome to today's episode of Map It. This is Make It Plain with Tracy, your favorite podcast. Yeah. So today, who can guess what we're going to talk about? All right. I'll talk about something that's like the bedrock of every other thing we've been talking about. We've spent a lot of time, over the last almost 2 years now on Map It. Map It is not so young after all, but we're growing, right? But so we'll spend some time to dissect a couple of life's principles, concepts, ideologies, and of course, try to simplify it. And that's the whole idea of Map It. But someone asked me a question quite recently, and she said, hey, okay, goals, ambitions, dreams, how to stay on track, focus, all of the topics, we share on, we dissect and map it, motivation, and the likes. Feel free to go to my YouTube channel and look up all of those interesting topics. They're actually values and virtues that will help you walk through your life's journeys. Of course, looking at your desires, your goals, how to get there from point zero to where is you want to be. But again, so the person said to me, she said, how about those of us that don't seem to have maybe clarity where they're going or the exact goals they are pursuing? Yes, that was the question she put to me. And I was like, I tried to engage to understand why she would say that. And she said it's even so much trouble, okay, in her own context. She said it's enough trouble to even sit and begin to picture what it is that they should pursue. So all of these principles and virtues we're sharing that will help us get there. To some people, they may feel out of it, maybe because they don't have clarity on where they are going to start with and how they will now even begin to apply all those things we've been talking about on Map It to their personal spaces. So welcome on board. Today is for you that feel you haven't settled the thoughts yet. Okay, today is for you, and I hereby present to you what I call desire. Okay, desire is what I want to talk about today, and of course how it leads to expectations and then a manifestation of the goal or the dream, right? So we're going to be talking about desire today. I'll share a little story, a short story. I have a friend, a very close friend, who very talented singer. She spent lots of time growing her talent, performing around what I would call her local space. But the time came, by virtue of the talent and the gifts, very talented, beautiful friend of mine, and she decided that, hey, I'm going to take this up to another level. And while she was still in Nigeria, she thought to join the what's it called, the music, this Nigerian Idol stuff and the likes. But again, eventually she made it. Okay, she made it and was very well celebrated. But I want to talk about the process. So it started from a desire to be on those international platforms. The gift was there, the talent was there, but then she desired to go beyond where she was to her next levels. And then it played out over a period of time. It played out over lots of sleepless nights, but eventually more practice. And then the next step she had to take was to enroll. I don't know how it works, but she had to enroll for the Nigerian Idol show and went through auditions. I hear it was very rigorous, right? But she went through. I also have a cousin who did something similar. But so I'm just trying to show you how desire can birth some sort of movement, and then that takes you into that path to your desired greatness. Okay, so desire is really important. Desire is like that seed that births all of that. Okay, so even before the principle of faith comes in, whether you're a Christian or not, even before the principle of positivity, faith, and the rest comes in, there needs to be that seed of desire on the inside of you that tells you that, hey, now you are ready to birth something. Okay, so another example I'd like to share is the story of the known KFC. That's Kentucky Fried Chicken. A lot of people love KFC. Oh, nice chicken. Yes, I love their recipe, very fantastic. Whenever I find myself in Lagos, I used to try from time to time to just branch and get a little stuff, those crunchy, nice stuff, KFC. And so our friends too, that when KFC came to Port Harcourt, they were like, guess what? KFC in Port Harcourt. And then my church where I worship, my bishop, some time ago, I remember one message he was preaching. I talked so much about the story of the founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken, and I'm going to mark it for free today, and I'll tell you to go read about Colonel Sanders, right? Colonel Sanders. He is the founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken, and then when you read about his history, it will just show you how hard work pays, okay, and that's how desire translates from just having that thought, that idea in your mind, and how it now goes over to becoming your reality. So when you do read about him, you could drop me a note, a chat, a comment, tell me what inspired you from his story. But so the point is that he tried again in being successful, and in the end today we celebrate Kentucky Fried Chicken, and that was one man's idea, one man's desire that finally became a reality. So read about Colonel Sanders, and basically you'll find many things he found to do. I don't want to give you any expo, but he did many things and failed at many of them. It's not only Albert Einstein who failed severally, but eventually, but this guy called Colonel Sanders failed at so many things. He started businesses, he closed them down. He closed them down. He was an American entrepreneur. Everybody knew him, but the breakthrough point was the Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, that became that reality and that still stands till today. So, but remember, we're talking about desire. Before I close, I'd like to share one more thing with you. I'm looking at a book, currently reading a book. It says, you become what you think. So again, I'm just trying to imagine, and this is by Shubham Kumar Singh. Shubham Kumar. So he's saying, master your mind, master your life. When the Bible says what you think, that's what you become. I don't want to go into too much Bible stories, for those of us who are not Christians, just so you understand that your mind is the brain box. What you allow your brain to think, to conceive, then you begin to desire it and tell yourself, I will be successful, I will have a breakthrough, I will be big, and all of those positive thoughts. So on page 115 of this book, it says you become what you think. So if you think you will make it, trust me, the likelihood is you will make it. That's because it starts from desire, then the thoughts, and then your actions begin to gravitate around the things you need to do to actually be that success story that you desire. So I'll close with this quote, okay? It says, the thing about the human brain is that when you believe something, the brain will begin to scan the environment for any signs that the belief is true, by Dr. Julie Smith. So basically, it's some sort of phenomenon, some sort of principle that allows the mind to resonate with your environment, the people. So once you begin to think positively, once you begin to desire great things, desire greatness, you begin to see that things begin to fall in line, and you begin to, so it starts from the thoughts, starts from the desire, and then it ends at the reality of being that success you become. So I hope this was useful today, and if it was, please give me a like, subscribe, and share. My YouTube channel is at Tracy Giami, and I remain your host, Map It, Make It Plain with Tracy. And until next week, see you again.